to The Puzzle with the Piazza. Act 1. Lights come up on a basement rec room. Prominent in the center of the room is a dusty ping pong table, worn over the years. The room also displays the usual rec room paraphernalia and furniture, including a mirrored gay 90s style bar with counter and 3 rickety stools, and a bar cabinet, laced with cobwebs. An old radio sits on the counter. Open shelving on the other side of the room is crammed with stacks of jigsaw puzzles. We hear footsteps descending an offstage staircase. The room's only visible door is opened by Althea Witlin. She and Leif Morrell step into the room. She looks about, smiling, as memories sally forth.
So when was the last time you came down here?
Oh, goodness. I can't even remember. That terrible storm last spring, I think. Yeah. I was worried about the possibility of flooding.
And was there?
Dry as a bone. My neighbors weren't so fortunate. Oh, the things you can learn from nature's fury. Cat boxes float. Snooker tables do not.
The room looks entombed.
Huh. Is that a good assessment, dear, or a bad one?
It's just an observation.
Well, this was my son's rec room. Well, it was my husband's to begin with, but Colin took it over. He was mad about table tennis. You must never call it ping pong. Colin was a stickler about this. He was very good. He won the city's teen championship 2 years in a row.
Where is he now?
Oh, Colin lives in San Diego. I get cards. Watch the desk there.
I think I could turn this into a home office.
Oh, you don't want an office down here. There aren't any windows. You should put your office upstairs in that little room off the landing. It has a southern exposure. You can sit and feel the warmth of the morning sun right there at your desk.
Well, that room might just have to be the nursery.
You have a baby.
No, not yet, but we're expecting.
Oh, well, how far along is she, dear?
Oh, well, about 20 hours past the home pregnancy test. Yeah, Connie was supposed to take another one this afternoon just to make sure.
A baby, that's so nice.
Well, we've been trying for 5 years.
Oh, dear. A lot of people would have given up by now.
Yeah, well, Connie wants a baby come hell or high water, and honestly, well, I do too. You were really kind to show me around. I mean, without the real estate agent.
Wasn't she brash? I was so glad when she left. She told me not to mention any of the house's shortcomings.
Oh.
Well, great goodness, every house has shortcomings. An honest seller makes for a happy buyer, I always say.
I should probably be getting home.
Oh, it was so nice to meet you.
I'll bring Connie by this weekend if you're going to be around.
I'm afraid I'll be gone by then, dear. In fact, my sister, Ina, she's coming to pick me up tomorrow. Ina and all those movers, it's going to be bedlam around here.
You're moving in with your sister?
Yes, which means most of this stuff is going right into storage. I'll just be getting the one room. It used to be her sewing room. It will feel like a closet, but I'm not complaining. The room has a southern exposure, but it was a challenge, believe me. Deciding what to take, what not to take. I know now what a trial it must be for the ones of us who end up in the nursing homes, having to pare down a lifetime's worth of possessions to what will fit into 2 or 3 suitcases.
You don't seem all too happy to be moving.
Well, I'm not, dear. But I don't have much choice in the matter. I shouldn't be living alone. My health has betrayed me with a vengeance.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Well, what do you do, dear, for a living? If you told me, I'm afraid I've forgotten.
Oh, I work for WZPG. I'm in the advertising department.
Oh, I'm always listening to that station.
Oh.
Mostly late at night.
Sure.
It's a strange assortment of people who call those shows. They have theories.
Theories? Boy, that's the kind way of putting it.
And then you've got your insomniacs.
Yeah.
And there are those who listen just for the company, I think. The voices can be a comfort. The quiet, that late night quiet, after all this time, I still haven't gotten used to it.
I'm not sure I could get used to it either.
Well, you go home to your wife. Do you like the house?
It's a very nice house.
You can say if it's not for you. I won't mind, really. Some people object to the bay window.
The bay window is a nice feature.
Some say it looks, what was it that one fellow called it? Imposed. He said, my bay window looks imposed. He preferred one more organic.
I'm not quite sure what that means.
I think it means he didn't like the house.
Huh.
But someone will. Someone will come along who will appreciate it. Someone who likes a house with a certain lived-in quality. Don't you get that feeling? That lived-in feeling? It's like buying pre-washed jeans, isn't it?
Yeah, you could say that. Your family likes jigsaw puzzles.
Oh, it was a weekend ritual for a time. Then Reed, that was my husband, Reed and Colin, well, they got too busy. Places to go, people to see. Jigsaw puzzles take time, you know. Time and infinite patience.
Well, I have the patience. Never have the time, though.
Places to go, people to see. I believe a person has to make the time.
Well, a lot of time, judging from the number of pieces in these boxes.
Well, I kept working the puzzles for a while after my husband and son stopped, but it wasn't the same. Jigsaw puzzles can be enjoyable solitary endeavors, but I prefer to approach them more communally, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. Here's one with 2,000 pieces.
1,999. Reed considered suing the manufacturer. To have come so far, it was beyond cruel.
Oh, there's a 2,000, 2,500. Oh.
Open the doors at the bottom.
What's in there?
You'll see.
Oh, 3,000. Well, that must be a record.
You just might be right.
3,000 pieces. I mean, just where would you work a puzzle like that, huh? On the floor of a gymnasium?
It actually fits right here on this ping pong table.
You've worked it before, but the box doesn't even look like it's been opened.
I took measurements.
And then changed your mind.
I did. I chickened out. A 3,000-piece puzzle is quite intimidating. But it's a pretty picture, don't you think? The Grand Canal in Venice. Isn't it beautiful?
I like the colors. I like puzzles with a lot of colors.
Open it up.
Oh, I'm really tempted.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead. Did you work puzzles when you were a child?
Off and on. I was an ambivalent puzzle worker.
Why do you say that?
Well, I like the feeling of accomplishment that came when all the pieces came together, but there was a certain, a letdown.
That it was over.
Right. And the fact that the final product was really kind of, I don't know, kind of impractical. I mean, it wasn't something you could really use,
Well, you could look at it, couldn't you? You could take an aesthetic view of the thing.
Like art you put together?
You got it.
Yeah, but marred though, don't you think? I mean, all those swirly lines from where all the pieces hooked together? No. For me, it was always the getting there. Like the way you always look forward to Christmas always felt better than getting Christmas itself.
I'll bet you enjoyed the communal aspect of puzzle working yourself.
Yeah, I guess I did. The mindless banter. Yeah, that was pretty fun.
Are we intimidated?
Nothing intimidates me, Miss Witlin.
Oh, please. Call me Althea.
All right.
And you're Leif, like the Viking. I just might be tempted to give it a try after you've gone. It will be my last chance. Ina's always hated jigsaw puzzles ever since we were kids. She'd hide the pieces and make things difficult. We were never close.
But you're going to live with her.
Oh, well, she's mellowed with the years. I hope. Pour it out on the table. The mice and the silverfish have been kind to this puzzle. You should see the Renoir over there, the little girl with the watering can. You put the puzzle together and discover that silverfish have sucked up part of that sweet little girl's face.
I should call Connie and tell her I'll be a little late. You shouldn't have to turn over all these pieces by yourself.
Oh, yes, that part is so tedious.
You're really sure this table's going to be large enough to hold the whole puzzle?
Well, if the dimensions on the box can be trusted.
I'm an idiot.
What's that, dear?
Well, I forgot Connie doesn't have her cell anymore. She left it in the dressing room at the fashion barn.
Would you like something to drink?
That lemonade you gave me earlier, that was really good.
It was good, wasn't it?
Hey, Pumpkin, I'm guessing you're still at Beth's. I'm also guessing that she'll never check the voicemail on this phone. But just in case you do, I wanted to let you know I'll be a little late. I'm over at Miss Whitlin's. You know, that house I told you I was going to look at on the way home? Yeah, you should really see it. I think you'd like it. Anyway, I shouldn't be too late. Just something I need to do before I head home. See you later. Mwah.
Lights fade on Leif. They come up on Althea, standing alone, who faces out and addresses the audience.
The puzzle of this size, it's crucial for one to develop a very focused strategy. You simply have to have a strategy, or you'll be fumbling around for hours without making any progress at all. Now, mine isn't unique. Maybe you do this yourself. You isolate all the straight edge pieces. You put all the others aside so you can work your border first. You have to finish your border to get your bearings. Then you work inward from the border, moving methodically toward the middle, expanding your pockets of color. Now, I know there are other ways to approach a jigsaw puzzle, but this one has always worked for me. Creating a frame, a nice frame for your picture. Pictures need frames, don't you think? Now, I have to get back to the basement. You see, I don't have much time. Ina is coming for me tomorrow afternoon.
She returns to the basement where the lights come back up. Leif is working away.
Did you reach your wife, dear?
Oh, thank you. No, she's probably still at her sister's. We need better light. You only have one bulb working up there.
There should be others in that little cabinet behind the bar, if they're still good. It's been years since Reed bought them. I always wanted to go to Venice. Wanted to sit right there in St. Mark's Square and sip that hearty Italian coffee and breathe in all the scents of that beautiful ancient city.
Oh, I hear it smells like mold and mildew.
Oh, I hope not. Goodness.
What?
Yes.
What?
There was a hair in the box.
Oh, let me see.
Oh, well, look how long it is. It no doubt belonged to a woman. Probably the very woman who packed the box.
You don't think that was done by a machine?
Well, maybe she was the woman who ran the machine.
Ah.
Lord, what if she got her long hair all tangled up in that machine?
Oh, well, I'm sure they have ways of extricating people's hair from machines.
Oh, it might have scalped her.
What? We won't think about it. What is it?
I was thinking about Reed, my late husband.
Huh.
I do that now and then. Imagine how he might respond to some of the silly observations I find myself making these days.
You mean like the hair thing?
Mm-hmm. Of course, I would never have brought up such a thing with Reed. He had no patience for trivialities. Althea, do you really think this discovery of yours makes any difference in the universal scheme of things? Universal scheme of things. That was his favorite phrase. I don't know what it means. Leif, do you know what that phrase means? Universal scheme of things.
Let me think about this. I think it means the grand, lofty design for the universe.
And whose design would that be?
God's, I guess. I mean, if you believe in God.
No, I don't think that's what Reed meant. I think he simply meant that I should change the subject. Is that a good bulb?
I'll try. Can I use this chair?
Oh, be my guest. I don't think silverfish eat chair metal.
Huh. Oh, that was dumb.
Oh, hold on. I think I know where the flashlight is. Oh. Thank you, Energizer Bunny.
And voila. Better?
Oh, much better.
What would your husband have thought of this brand new century?
Oh, he would have hated it.
Why do you say that?
Well, he hated living in the 20th century, and this new one doesn't seem to be any different. I think he had hopes that people in the new millennium would be less silly. But we aren't, are we? Every time I think about Venice, I picture Katharine Hepburn in that movie where she falls into the canal. She got a bad eye infection or something from that.
Katharine Hepburn or the character she played?
Katharine got the infection.
Ah.
I don't believe the character she played had any eye problems at all, which is good. Otherwise, it would have changed the whole story. I recall that it was a love story. She was in love with Rossano Blasi. Oh, wouldn't that have been sad? They fall in love, and the woman gets an eye infection, and she spends the rest of the picture with this big gauzy bandage over one eye.
Yeah, that might have been a little distracting.
I might be mistaken, but I think Katharine Hepburn got sick when she went to Africa to do that movie, The African Queen. Do you know that movie?
My mother loved Katharine Hepburn. So growing up, I saw pretty much all of the old Katharine Hepburn movies.
Seems like she was always going off on location and coming down with something. But it had no effect on her longevity, has it?
How old is she now?
Well into her 90s, I think. They did a story on her in People. She swims every morning in her lake.
She trembles a lot.
Well, it's probably because the water's cold.
Are you sure that this puzzle is going to fit on this table?
Well, if I've miscalculated, we'll just have to find a bigger surface. But I believe it will. You'll see. Oh.
What?
Well, you've got to go, don't you? After you turn over the pieces.
Says who? Now, how much fun would that be after flipping over all the pieces and then just heading for the door?
Well, I'd certainly be happy to have your help, however long you wanted to stay. But what about your wife?
Well, Connie gets with Beth and the two of them talk for hours. I'll probably still beat her home. You don't need to be doing anything last minute, like packing or anything, do you?
Well, I've already packed the things I'm taking to Ina's. The movers are supposed to box up everything else. Eventually, Ina's going to help me do a big garage sale.
Oh.
Have you ever been to Venice? Have I asked you that already?
No, I've never been to Venice. I didn't travel much growing up, and well, now Connie's afraid of flying.
Oh, well, I heard someone say that no one is afraid of flying. It's crashing they're afraid of.
Yes, I suppose you are right about that. How long has it been since your husband passed away?
I'd have to count it up. But he wasn't my husband when he died. Rita and I divorced, and then a few months later he died.
Ah.
Well, that's good, because the reverse would be difficult, don't you think?
I suppose it would.
We were married for 22 years. Some of them happy. Others not so happy. We came to the conclusion quite early in the marriage that we were quite incompatible. But by then I'd had Colin, and since the marriage wasn't all that fractious, we just decided to stick it out until our son grew up, and that was probably for the best. Oh, you missed that little pile over there.
Oh, thanks.
Although it's never a picnic being married to someone who doesn't love you.
Did you,
Did I love him? Dear, you can ask me whatever you like. I don't keep secrets. Yes, I did love him. But then Reed used to accuse me of loving everybody. I suppose that's my biggest failing. I find things about people, or even the most terrible sorts of people. I find things, little endearing things that keep me from disliking somebody too much.
Even mass murderers?
Well, mass murderers are usually insane, dear. They can't help themselves.
So you don't believe in evil?
Well, I suppose I do. But even evil people aren't totally 100% evil.
What about Hitler?
Well, this is an interesting conversation.
Well, I'm playing the devil's advocate. I hope it's okay.
I just don't recall having had such a conversation before.
Not even with your husband? Or, your son?
Heavens, no. The three of us never discussed the evil nature of evil. It was hard enough just getting them to tell me what they wanted for dinner.
I don't usually get all that philosophical myself.
It's working on this puzzle. It frees you up to think, to roam the countryside of your mind.
It's a good way to put it.
Thank you. And I think that Hitler was pure evil. He is my exception to the rule. I would not have him to dinner.
You think about having famous people over to dinner?
Oh, yes. I've been planning a special imaginary dinner party for years.
Just famous people or a mix?
Well, mostly famous people. But only because I think they got to be famous because they're so interesting. That's the most important requirement for my dinner. The guests must be interesting conversationalists. I can't have anyone at my dinner party who isn't going to make some sort of contribution to the evening.
Sounds like a plan. So how many people are on your guest list?
It's up to 27. Now, you have to remember that I've been planning this party for years.
So one long table or several small ones?
One very long banquet table. And there will be 5 courses. And before each new course, the dinner guests will have to shift down 2 seats so they won't have to talk to the same people all night long.
But won't a guest still have the same people to his left and right?
Oh, yes, but the cross-table guests will keep changing. I've worked it all out. I will keep the centerpieces low and unobtrusive to encourage an exchange with the cross-table neighbors.
Will they take their silverware with them?
Take them where?
Well, 2 seats down. When they make the shift, will they gather up their silverware and take it with them? For hygienic reasons.
Well, I suppose they would have to, don't you think? For hygienic reasons.
Yeah, well, then there'd be a lot of clinking and clanging with the change of each course, wouldn't there? You missed a couple of pieces there.
Well, I suppose there would be. Maybe I could mask everything with music.
Are you inviting any musicians or composers?
Yes.
Would there be an obligation to play their music?
I suppose we should, don't you think? Out of respect.
Then would you have to hang prints around the room of the works of the painters you've invited?
Well, I will only have one painter on the list, Salvador Dali. He'd be a walking painting himself, don't you think?
Any presidents?
Theodore Roosevelt and Millard Fillmore. I was tempted to invite several, but I didn't want the evening's conversation to lean too heavily toward the political.
That's an odd choice.
I wouldn't seat them together.
Well, Theodore Roosevelt is a good choice. I don't know anything about Millard Fillmore.
That's exactly why I wanted to invite him. I don't know anything about him either. And I love his name. I would love to be able to say to him, could you pass the gravy boat, Millard? Fill it to the rim, Fillmore.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like it would be a fun dinner party. Are all of your guests dead?
Well, all but that little boy who won the National Spelling Bee last year.
Huh.
He seemed like such a sweet, bright little boy. I thought he'd enjoy meeting all these illustrious historical figures. I still have 3 seats to fill.
Oh.
Would you like to come? I could put you next to Marie Antoinette. I can't wait to serve her dessert.
Well, I think I'd be out of my league at a dinner party like that.
Well, what if after dinner we cleared the table and worked another 3,000 piecer?
Oh.
I'd be so curious to see who stayed and who fled the room in a wide-eyed panic. Albert Einstein. Now, he'd probably be a regular puzzle whiz, don't you think?
There would be every indication. Look, the entire puzzle now exposed.
Oh, that didn't take any time at all.
Is Katharine Hepburn coming to your dinner party?
Well, I hadn't thought about it. It might be fun to invite her, but I'd probably want to keep it a secret from the other guests.
Why is that?
Oh, you just think about it.
Oh, okay.
The front doorbell rings, slightly muffled by the distance between the basement and the door.
Keep thinking about it. That's probably my paper boy. He was going to drop by to say goodbye.
Beth, this is Leif. I was looking for Connie. I guess she told you about losing her cell phone. Sounds like the two of you are out on the deck. I can't find a house with a deck half as nice as yours and Doug's. Ah! Ta-da! The first official coupling, Althea! When you get this message, just tell Connie to call my cell. I need to find out what her plans are for the evening. Oh, and tell her that I want to go to Venice and we can take a boat. I never did have a proper honeymoon, you know? See you, sis. Well, that's one small step for man and one giant leap for Le Grand Canal of Venice. That's French. What's Italian? Il Canal Grandatore. Ooh, I'm hungry. Hey, Althea, send the paper boy out to get pizza.
Althea enters, accompanied by Mattie Pleshette.
It wasn't the paper boy. It was my next door neighbor, Mattie Pleshette. She likes to be called Mattie, don't you, dear?
I was once called maiden form. That's a bra.
Nice to meet you, Mattie. I'm Leif.
Hello, it's nice to meet you, Leif.
Yes.
Mattie likes to work puzzles, don't you, Mattie?
I do. I do like to work puzzles.
Do you live in the big Tudor house or the one with the arches?
I live in the one with the arches, although I actually live in the room over the garage. It's semi-detached. That's what they say. It's a semi-detached garage with a room over it for Mattie. I have kitchen privileges. I only have a hot plate in my room. It's just one room. It doesn't have a kitchen. I keep my mayonnaise in the big kitchen in the house with the arches.
Dear, what did I tell you about giving people more information than is necessary?
Oh, did I just do that?
Well, a person might prefer to hear such things sprinkled through a conversation as he gets to know you, not perhaps offered up all at once.
Oh, yes. You're right.
It's okay. I don't mind.
Well, I'm teaching Mattie social skills. Many things are new to her.
Huh.
Does this mean I have to wait to tell him about my cat?
Why don't you ask him?
I have a cat. Would you like to know some things about him?
Yes, I'm very interested in cats.
He's a stray. I picked him up the very day I moved into the garage room. I pulled him out of a dumpster over on McAdam Street. He was eating green bacon. He was very happy to come home with me. His name is Mr. Puss.
That's an interesting name.
It was either going to be Miss Kitty if he was a boy or Mr. Puss if he was a girl.
Dear, I think you got that backwards. Mattie has only lived alone for a few weeks, but she's doing very well, aren't you, dear?
I have steam heat.
Mattie came over to give me a potholder she made in one of her classes, and I asked her if she would like to work jigsaw puzzles.
I came over to give Althea a potholder which I made in arts and crafts, and she asked me if I liked to work jigsaw puzzles, and I said yes, I did, and she brought me down here to where you are.
Honey, you're giving Leif too much information again. You were, in fact, repeating all the information I'd already given him.
I didn't need to do that, did I? Was your father's name Tree?
No. My name is spelled a little different from the kind of leaf you're thinking about.
Do you have a family tree? I hear that everyone has a family tree. Except me. I was raised by nuns.
No, well, I'll bet you have a family tree. You just haven't been told what it is yet.
I hope it's a dogwood.
Look at that. Mattie's been working this puzzle for only, 2 minutes, and she's already put 3 pieces together. Are you good at puzzles, dear?
Yes, I believe I am.
That's wonderful. Can you stay for a while?
I was going to watch Fashion 911 at 7:30, but I can skip it tonight. And I have to feed Mr. Puss at 8. But that won't take too long. I love puzzles. I love to put them together, and then I like to take them apart piece by piece and watch everything disappear.
Mattie also memorizes square roots. She's memorized quite a few of them.
I like numbers.
I think she's a savant. I don't know if she meets all the requirements, but she's certainly a whiz at remembering square roots. And she apparently has a facility for putting jigsaw puzzles together.
Look, there's a cute little girl on the plaza.
You are a true asset, dear.
Thank you.
Would you like some lemonade?
Yes, put lots of sugar in it. I like a lot of sugar. I have a corn. Are you going to buy this house? Althea said you might buy this house.
I'm considering it. My wife hasn't seen it yet, though.
Oh, you have a wife? Is she nice?
She's very nice.
This is a nice house. I sometimes sit at my window and look at it and wish that I lived here.
Do you like the bay window?
Oh, yes. Althea says it's about as organic as a bay window can be. You know what that means? That means that you can put an organ in there and play it and open the window and everyone can hear the beautiful music. And you don't even have to be a nun. Is this a corn or a callus? I can't tell the difference.
I don't think I know either.
Corn is a vegetable like plum is a fruit. Mr. Puss picks up kibble with his paw. He eats like a raccoon. I have to get back to this puzzle. We have to finish it before Althea leaves. I don't want Althea to leave.
She's been a good friend to you, hasn't she?
She's my best friend.
Square root of 66.
8.1240. I only take my square roots 4 places behind the decimal point. More than that, I think, would just be rude.
I'll check it. Okay, give it to me again.
The square root of 66, 8.1240.
You're exactly right. You're very good.
I know. I like this room. It's very bright. I need more light in my room. There are too many trees around. I like trees, but it gets very dark. Am I giving you too much information?
No, you're giving me just the right amount.
One of the nuns had a dog that peed in the toilet.
That's amazing. Did he flush?
Of course he flushed. It isn't good manners not to flush.
Oh,
I'll get it.
but it's my cell phone, Mattie. Okay, say hello. This is Leif Morrell's cell phone.
I can do that.
It's that button there.
Hello, you have reached Leif Morrell's cell phone. May I help you? Mattie Pleshette. One moment, please. It's a man named Doug.
Ah, hey, Doug. Oh, hey, yeah. Thanks for letting me know. I'll call over there once they've had time to drive over. Hey, do you have the number? I need to hang on. Hey, Mattie, remember this number? Okay, 555-0548. Okay, thanks, guy. Shall I write it down?
555-0548. You don't have to write it down. Would you
Great.
like to know the square root?
Of Doug and Beth's phone number.
It's 2,355.9601.
It was just a phone number.
Every number has a square root, even phone numbers. Althea's is 1,996.4107. Mine is 1,914.6673.
Huh. Well, so except for too many trees, you like your garage apartment?
I have iris wallpaper in my bathroom.
Oh, I'll bet that's pretty. Where'd you live before?
The Calloway house. It's a group home. You live there in a group. The Calloway house has blue diamond curly Q wallpaper in the living room and green striped wallpaper in the bathroom. The address has a good square root though, 44.
Huh. Do you memorize cube roots?
I don't know what those are.
Let us eat cake.
What?
Marie Antoinette. Dessert. Let us eat cake.
Guess who's coming for dinner?
Katharine Hepburn.
Can Katharine Hepburn also have cake?
If she likes.
What about her daughter?
Well, Audrey isn't coming, dear. That there isn't room for 2 Hepburns at my dinner party. I said goodbye to Devin. That's my paper boy. I caught him coming up the drive when I went out to give the hydrangeas a little drink. The real estate woman said she'll have someone water all the flowers, but I don't trust her.
I'll water them.
Would you, Mattie? That would put my mind at ease.
Althea's sister has pretty flowers.
Oodles. Ina is a master gardener. She grows competitive roses.
Will she let you work in her garden?
Well, she's going to give me a little plot. I'll grow sweet peas and beefsteaks and try to keep out of her way. She's very particular about her garden. Oh, look, I'm making progress on this gondola.
Oh, we aren't working on the same gondola, are we?
Well, I don't think so. Let's check the box. There are several gondolas. Mine has 2 people. It looks like yours is carrying a whole family.
My wife and her sister, they just left for their aunt's house. I'm not sure why.
I once saw a mule with a sequin eye patch.
Probably to give her the good news.
But she wasn't going to tell anyone until after the second pregnancy test.
Well, if she's close to her sister and aunt, I'm sure she'd want to tell both of them as soon as possible. You know, maybe she took the second test over at, what's her name, the sister?
Beth.
Maybe she took the second test over at Beth's house.
Yeah, you're probably right.
We didn't have home pregnancy tests back when I was carrying Colin. We killed rabbits in those days.
Killed rabbits?
Oh, it's a figure of speech.
You have grandchildren?
2 little girls, 2 little angels. I mean, from what I can tell from the pictures. And I have a Christmas video.
How old are they?
Well, 8 and 6, I think. Colin and Candy had them late. They weren't going to have children, and then Candy changed her mind when she turned 40.
6.3245.
I don't understand why you haven't seen your grandchildren.
Oh dear, it's not a very happy story.
Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to pry.
I told you I don't keep secrets. My realtor, she doesn't like that. She doesn't want me to tell about the hot water heater.
What's wrong with the hot water heater?
It's old and it leaks a little. It really should be replaced. Now, let's gather all the border pieces together, dear. It'll be easier to find things that way.
All right.
Candy, Colin's wife, she says she's allergic to me.
Some people are allergic to candy. You can be allergic to her.
Candy says I wear too much perfume.
I like your perfume. It smells like sweet peas.
Scent is pretty, subtle.
I stopped wearing it altogether to be accommodating. And I told them, hello, Colin, dear. I just wanted you and Candy to know that your mother is now fragrance-free. And then I waited. The invitation for me to come out, well, it never came.
And he doesn't come here.
Colin hasn't been home since his father's funeral.
That doesn't make a lot of sense.
Well, here's the story. I'll put it in the tiniest peanut shell for you. So when Colin was 18, I was going to drive him to the airport. He was supposed to participate in an invitational table tennis tournament. It was a very big tournament. If he won or placed well, it would significantly improve his national ranking. Well, I thought I'd go ahead and get the car out of the garage while he was finishing his packing. I thought he was still inside, you see. I didn't see him standing right there in the driveway.
She ran over his foot.
Oh, no.
That's right. I backed over my son's foot with the car.
She broke every bone, even the one in his little toe.
Oh.
Mattie, dear, you're giving excessive information.
You ran over his foot and he didn't go to the tournament.
Not to that tournament or to any other tournament. His promising table tennis career ended that very afternoon.
Can I tell how many operations he had? He had 3 operations.
Oh.
And still he walks with a little limp. At least he did when I saw him at his father's funeral.
He never really let go of this, did he?
It was more than that, I'm afraid. Long before that happened, Colin somehow felt obligated to choose sides between his father and me. Take a guess who's he chose. Reed's been dead for years, and Colin still keeps me at a distance. Please don't misunderstand me. My son is a good husband. He's a good father to his girls. He just doesn't want me for his mother. I've lived with this fact for so long that I've almost come to terms with it. There's some straight pieces over there.
Thanks. Hey, Is there a bathroom that I can?
Of course, honey, the powder room in the front entrance hall. And if you find suitcases blocking the door, just push them to the side.
I think we're making really good progress.
We are, aren't we?
Lights dim on Althea and Mattie. A spot comes up on Leif, who is exiting the bathroom.
What I find works best with a puzzle like this is not going for too long in any one particular strategy. It's better just to be a little scattershot, work with the border for a while and then shift to some brightly colored spots and then that won't be too hard to bring together. After that, move over to a large single colored area and hone in on the way that the shape of pieces fits together. To me, it's kind of breaks up the monotony a little. Otherwise, it's going to be a pretty long slog. And all you can see is stretched out in front of you is hours and hours of puzzle working. And that can be a little discouraging. So I say go for little triumphs like Mattie with that girl on the piazza. I guess she's got a little girl strategy going. Hey, whatever works for you, right?
Leif returns to the rec room as lights come up. Althea and Mattie are dabbing at the table and at individual puzzle pieces with a piece of cloth.
What happened?
Oh, we had a little accident.
I knocked over my lemonade.
Oh.
There was hardly anything left in the glass, sweetie.
The pieces are going to be sticky.
It's going to be fine. We'll wet a couple of paper towels, and every time our hand falls on a sticky piece, we'll just give it a little wiping while we're thinking about it. Now, hurry upstairs, dear, and get that roll of Bounty and run a few of the sections under the sink.
All right. I'm very sorry, Althea.
Dear, you are making far too much of it. She's a dear girl, but she's so hard on herself. She's actually doing quite well on her own, but she views every little mishap as reason for why she shouldn't be living by herself.
Well, does she want to be living by herself?
She does, but she has doubts about her abilities. I try to build up her self-confidence as much as I can. Oh, your phone rang while you were in the bathroom. That's why Mattie knocked over her lemonade. She was going for your phone.
Did Mattie say who it was?
Your wife.
Is she calling back?
No, dear. I think she told Mattie she was on her way over here. It looks like she's going to get to see the house after all. Isn't that nice?
I suppose so.
Is anything wrong, dear?
I'm not sure why she'd come over here.
Well, it wasn't anything Mattie said. In fact, she didn't even mention the puzzle. Does your wife, Connie, does she like jigsaw puzzles?
I don't know. I don't remember ever working one together.
Do you think she'd like to help us?
We'll probably need to go when she gets here. Your house is on the way home from her aunt's. I'll bet that's why she decided to stop by.
I'd like to meet her. I'll bet she's an angel.
She's pretty special.
Here, you wet the whole roll.
On the sink.
Oh, put it over there. We'll peel off a few pieces.
This one's sticky.
I'm on the job. I'm on the job.
Thank you.
That goes in the window in that big bubbly top cathedral.
Which one?
The one right there.
Mattie, damp wipe those pieces right there and get back to work on the puzzle. Your puzzle working skills are just as important as your custodial ones. Oh dear, my hands are very sticky and gummy.
There's no baby.
What?
Your wife. She thought she was going to have a baby, but she's not.
Mattie, honey, how on earth would you know this?
I heard the lady talking. The lady who was with her.
What did the lady say?
She said, "Don't tell him you're not pregnant until you see him." She was crying.
Who was crying, dear?
Leif's wife.
Oh.
My mother only had one child, me. This is what the nuns told me. My mother had a little baby and she dropped her on her head, and then she left the little baby at the orphanage.
Oh, the nuns didn't tell you any such thing, Mattie.
Yes, they did. They said my mother accidentally dropped me on my head when I was 9 months old. 3.
Well, which is it, dear? Were you 9 months old or 3 months old?
She was 9 months old. The square root is 3.
They said I wore a tiny baby doll neck brace for 4 months. Square root, 2. I didn't know they made neck braces for dolls, did you?
Mattie, I think someone wasn't telling you the truth.
Yes, they were. They said that I had been a very special little baby. I was doing everything months before I should have. I was walking and talking and feeding myself with a shrimp fork, and then my mother bumped the high chair and I got arrested. It arrested me, and that's why I am the way I am. That's why I spilled lemonade and dropped the paper towels in the sink. But I wasn't born that way. No, I wasn't.
I had a twin brother. He was stillborn.
Oh, well, my goodness.
Mattie's right. There's no baby. The first home pregnancy test lied. She took a second test. It said no baby. Yeah. Look. I finished the gondola.
Oh, that's wonderful, dear. Now, would you like to stop now? Maybe you'd like to wait for your wife upstairs where you can be alone for a while?
I have a better idea. Why don't I just keep working on this puzzle?
Well, I just thought...
I think, in fact, there's nothing that I'd rather do right now than to teach this cheeky 3,000 piecer a hard lesson. The absolute nerve defying us this way.
Well, those Venetians are being awfully nervy, aren't they? Wait, what about Connie?
What about Connie? Last time I checked, her fingers are working just fine. It'll be good therapy for both of us. Otherwise, we're just gonna go home and spend the rest of the evening moping around and feeling sorry for ourselves.
Well, you're both welcome to stay here for as long as you like.
We'll call out for pizza. My treat.
Of course, Mattie will have to keep the pizza far away from the table.
Did he look just like you?
Who?
Your twin brother who was born real still.
Oh, I don't know. My parents never told me. They never told me much about him at all. They didn't even give him a name. I used to think about him a lot, wondered what it might have been like to have a twin brother, but my mother and father, it was as if he never existed. He'd never been born.
I sometimes think about having a twin sister. I know she'd be much, much smarter than me. I don't think my mother would have dropped both of us on our heads, do you?
Mattie, how could she be smarter than you? You're a human ram drive.
Is that good?
I think that's very good, sweetie.
Connie had 2 miscarriages in her first marriage. Maybe that's why she can't get pregnant now. Maybe it's for the best. I mean, if she did get pregnant, I know we'd be worrying the whole time that she'd lose that one, just like the other 2.
Most miscarriages, dear, they happen for a reason. Should the baby have gone to term, there might have been some terrible complications. This is nature's way of sparing the parents from certain hardships.
So we get the heartache on the front end instead. Miss Witlin, I don't.
Now, I told you to call me Althea.
Do you see the bright side in everything?
No, I don't think, for example, that we're going to finish this jigsaw puzzle before my sister gets here.
These puzzles become important to you.
Well, in the universal scheme of things, it shouldn't be. But I simply can't help myself. I wander through these rooms, and for good or bad, I know that I am these rooms. I am this house. I am this silly, audacious puzzle. I am all the things that in very short order I won't get to be anymore.
Your sister Ina, she doesn't like jigsaw puzzles.
My sister Ina doesn't like jigsaw puzzles, yes, especially ones this big. She would not have the Grand Canal of Venice spread all over her dining room table.
Well, why are you going there? You don't have to go there. It isn't a good place for you to be.
I have no choice, Mattie. I've explained this to you.
You can move in with me.
Wouldn't we be a pair?
Or you can stay here and I can move in with you.
Honey, I will soon require care. I will not subject you to the terrible inconvenience of having to be my nursemaid.
Althea is sick.
I'm not checking out tomorrow, but Dr. Elam says I'm on a certain trajectory.
I can be your nurse. I like nurse uniforms. They're very crisp.
Let's just put that thought out of our heads, dear. Besides, I need the money from the sale of this house. Now, Ina and we've worked it all out. I sell the house, and I use the money to pay her for my room and board. I do not intend to be a financial burden to my sister.
Ladies, I think we can do it.
Do what?
Finish this mother of all jigsaw puzzles.
You do?
But it will require working through the night. What time do you have to be out of here tomorrow?
Ina said she'd be here after lunch. She has a special luncheon she has to attend. She's coming right over after that.
Good. That's perfect.
Well, don't you have to go to work tomorrow?
I'll call in sick. I hardly ever call in sick.
Well, what about Connie?
I'll talk to Connie when she gets here.
It's the only one I never finished.
The only one?
To be very honest, I was quite unhappy to have to leave here without having even opened the box.
Well, not only have we opened the box, but we've put together 2 gondolas and half of the border is finished. And it's hardly past 8 o'clock.
8 o'clock? I have to feed Mr. Puss.
Oh.
Hurry back, dear.
I'll be right back.
Lights go out on Leif and Althea. A spot opens on Mattie. She holds an opened can of cat food.
I don't have any special way to work a jigsaw puzzle. I wish I did. I wish there was some kind of trick I could tell you about, like the tricks I learned at the group home for how to get spaghetti stains out of linoleum. That would be lemon juice and elbow grease. Elbow grease isn't a real grease. It's what you say when you work hard. Well, that's what you do with a jigsaw puzzle, I guess. You give it a whole lot of elbow grease. Work, work, work. Take a breath. Go pee-pee. Work, work. Eat some pizza, sausage, and mushrooms. Work, work, work. Get sleepy. Have some coffee. Feed your cat so he doesn't get grumpy. Work, work, work. Go pee-pee again. Work, work. And then it's over. And you can take it apart and put it away. And go get some sleep and watch Animal Planet and Fashion 911. Is that a trick? I'm not sure. Althea has nimble fingers. Have you noticed?
Lights go down on Mattie and come up on the basement. Connie Morrell stands near the door, flanked by Leif and Althea, who leave her standing there as they return to the puzzle.
So this is the...
I believe its official name is the Bells of the Campanile.
Oh, what a pretty name.
It's all one puzzle?
Oh, it is the mother of all puzzles.
I came as fast as I could. Mr. Puss is eating canned salmon. He probably won't even miss me.
Mattie, this is my wife, Connie, and Connie, this is Mattie.
Yes, from the phone?
My hands are sticky, and I think there's cat food underneath my fingernails. It's nice to meet you.
Mattie lives next door.
We just learned something, dear. The puzzle has a name. Bells of the Campanile. Isn't that a lovely name?
Where are the bells?
I think they're in the tower.
I don't see them.
Well, I suppose we'll just have to imagine where they are.
Your house is really beautiful, Miss Witlin.
Oh, thank you, dear.
I think I can hear them.
I thought you said you were still here because of the house. I didn't know you were here because of a jigsaw puzzle.
Maybe I'm still here because I like the house and I like this puzzle.
Leif, I don't understand.
Oh, I think I see them now. Uh-oh.
Oh, Pumpkin. Pumpkin. Hey, look. I know.
Oh,
Mattie told me.
Mattie?
She overheard Beth. I'm so sorry, honey.
Those tests aren't supposed to be wrong.
Of course, they can be wrong. I read the disclaimer. It's rare, but you can occasionally get a false positive.
Did you do a third one, dear? Best 2 out of 3?
Yes, at my Aunt Arlene's. The verdict's in. I didn't know you liked jigsaw puzzles.
Oh, well, it's just something we never shared with each other.
It's a strange thing to like. I mean, it's very low tech.
I have a low-tech side too, Pumpkin.
You finished the gondolas.
This one's mine, and that one is Althea's.
There are too many people in that boat. It's liable to capsize. This is very blue. Where's a spot that's very blue?
There's a glimmer of bright blue right under that, beneath that footprint.
Ah, yes, I see it. Well, I'll put it down, but there's nothing to connect it to. It's just gonna float there by itself.
Then you'll simply have to locate its companions.
You know we're going to be childless, don't you?
You can adopt.
I wanted my own. A little girl with my hair and your eyes.
Well, what if she got in my hair and your eyes?
There's nothing wrong with my eyes.
They're actually a little bloodshot at the moment. I mean, I prefer them, a little less veiny.
Shame on you. Connie's eyes are beautiful. Do you want me to get you some Vicine, dear?
This piece is sticky.
Well, it was an accident.
Mattie, dear, what are you doing?
The pigeons are taking off from the plaza. Cover your heads.
Oh.
Sorry about your loss.
When are we going home?
Oh, probably about 3 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. Unless we finish it sooner.
Will we eat?
Pizza.
And soon.
Good. I'm starving.
And I'll make egg and cheese McMuffins tomorrow morning.
Will we sleep?
Probably not.
No rest for the weary. Look, I found his pole. I found the gondolier's missing pole.
And we're doing this because...
Because it's Venice. Because we've never been to Venice before. Because I love you. And I very much need you right by my side tonight. All night long. And I'm going to take myself a little guess that just maybe you need me too.
I like mushroom with red pepper. Step back a little, honey. You're in my light.
Lights fade out. End of Act 1. Act 2. Much later that evening, the puzzle-working quartet is still hard at work. The bar stools now surround the table, with the foursome popping up and down, standing, then sitting, then getting up and again and moving about the table, each member of the ensemble in constant motion. Open pizza boxes now litter the bar counter, along with a half-finished liters of soda and paper cups. All the while, we hear the sound of the radio, which has been switched on. Betty from Portland, Maine, you're on the air.
Charlie, I don't know why in the world you let this man back on your show.
I thought my listeners deserved some kind of explanation, which incidentally, he has yet to give me. Mr. Armbruster, here we are now firmly ensconced in the new millennium, and the Earth hasn't ended as you predicted. What do you have to say for yourself?
Well, I didn't say it was going to happen right on New Year's Day.
Oh, yes, you did. I heard that show. I heard every word of it. Armageddon and the rapture and the cherubim and seraphim. Well, I'm still here. I'm not in heaven. Nothing has changed. I'm still married to the laziest bum in America, and I still can't even look at Mexican food without getting the runs. Yeah.
Betty from Portland makes a good point, Mr. Armbruster.
I can't listen to another minute of this.
This has got to be a new low for your station, Leif. You really ought to ask Delaney why he insists on running these freakazoid talk shows in the middle of the night.
Well, A, they're syndicated and they're cheap. And B, a lot of people happen to like this kind of programming.
Connie makes a good point, Leif. Charlie's guests are even more freakazoid tonight than usual. Oh, Mattie, dear, you're listing. And you've got pizza sauce all over your chin.
What?
Mattie, she's the leaning tower of pizza.
Oh.
Would you like to go upstairs and lie down for a while?
I'm okay. I'm just not used to staying up this late.
When is it you usually go to bed, dear?
About 9:30.
Oh, well, it's well past midnight. Are you going to be all right?
I have ways of staying awake. Ease on down the road.
Hey. Who am I, huh? All right.
I don't know.
Come on, that was so easy. I'm Mike Piazza with a Piazza.
I don't know who that is.
Mets catcher?
Oh.
Phenomenal catcher for the Mets. I'd have him at my dinner party in a New York minute. New York minute. Did you get that, Pumpkin?
I got it. We all got it.
Before we checked in with Armageddon Armbruster, you were going to tell me how you and Leif met.
It was at Petey's Putt-Putt at Summer and Spruce.
Yeah, I was there with my friends, and Connie was there with her friends. Connie's group was right behind my group, nipping at our heels.
Leif and his bunch were acting like a bunch of 8-year-olds.
Oh, it was only Gerald. Gerald was trying to impress Sheila. He was playing all the holes with his eyes taped shut.
Sheila wasn't impressed.
Well, this gave Connie and me the chance to meet, to get to know each other.
And one thing led to another.
Yeah, well, the bottom line is she asked me out.
Sadie Hawkins in the Putt-Putt Park.
He was so shy, Althea. I knew that if I wasn't the one to make the move, we might never see each other again.
Oh dear, what shall we do?
Well, let her have a little nap. Maybe it'll revive her.
The last time I remember staying up all night. I mean, on purpose. I don't count all the nights I would have liked nothing better than to drift peacefully off. Well, anyway, the last time was when my husband, rather my ex-husband, was in ICU the night before he died. I was on the phone trying to find Colin. My stomach was tied in knots.
How about we replace that one with this one?
Oh, what a nice idea. This has been such a lovely evening.
And the evening isn't even half over.
She's on my basilica. She's got her head resting right on the domes of my basilica.
Oh.
Well, oh, come help me with the canal. This water looks so dirty. I'm surprised Katharine Hepburn didn't get some sort of amoebic infection.
I'm ready for ice cream.
Oh.
Leif, I'm going to the Handy Mandy to get us all some ice cream. What flavor would everyone like?
Well, just don't get that ice milk. It tastes like flavored water.
Oh, or frozen yogurt. I hate the way frozen yogurt gets all uppity, like, I'm just as cold, comfort, tasty as ice cream is. Well, guess what? You're not.
Hey, Connie, I don't think I want you going by yourself. I mean, it's almost 1 o'clock.
Oh, she'll be fine, dear. That handyman is just around the corner, and Officer Perry's almost always sitting right out front in his patrol car. One night when I couldn't sleep, he invited me to sit with him. We listened to the police radio and ate Funny-Ums. Anyway, I like vanilla.
I know Leif likes chocolate and I like strawberry. What does Mattie like?
Mattie is lactose intolerant, dear.
She just ate a whole pizza.
You know, I didn't even think about that.
Well, she seemed to work pretty hard at picking off all the cheese. Maybe she'll be all right.
When I was a girl, we had another name for that Neapolitan ice cream.
Van Chalk Straw. Van for vanilla, chalk for chocolate, and straw for...
Strawberry.
Yes.
Oh, Lord, it's like you were there.
Van Chalk Straw.
You know, sometimes I look at the two of you and it's like I've always known you. It's almost as if you were seated right next to Ina and me on my granddaddy's splintery old porch, all four of us waiting for old Whippletoes to dish up the VCS. He always used this special soda fountain, ice cream scoop he stole from Woolworth's.
Who was old Whippletoes?
Oh, my bachelor uncle, Whip. He spoiled Ina and me terribly. He was so good to us. He stole things, though. Little things, mostly. except for the Lincoln Continental. Right off the lot. He went straight to prison, did not pass go,
Yeah.
did not collect even a goodbye from Ina and me.
Hmm.
And that's where he died. He slipped in the shower and irreparably damaged his brain stem. Oh, Lord. Now I'm the one giving too much information.
There's been so much tragedy in your life.
Oh, honey. Doesn't every life have its moments of sadness and misfortune? The bad days make the good days seem even better, don't you think? Anyway, I've been very good at negotiating my way around all the obstacles that life has put in my way. No, that isn't the hard part.
What's the hard part?
She was getting to the hard part. Don't interrupt
Yes.
her. No, I'm sorry. I've got the 1 o'clock grumps. What's the hard part, Althea?
The hard part, dear, is the gaps.
Gaps?
Those big empty places that stand out when you step back and take stock. Uncle Whip wasn't a gap. He was a positive, yes, criminal, but mostly positive force in my life. The gaps are the things left undone, left unsaid, opportunities missed, chances that never came or that got all botched up. My husband, a gap. I should never have married him. I should never have run over my son in the driveway. It just added to that wedge between us. But you can't spend the rest of your days playing the should-have, could-have game because it isn't a game you can ever win. You have to stop playing that game and try your level best to live in spite of all the holes and that riddle your life like Swiss cheese. Because all of our lives are big chunks of Swiss cheese, aren't they, honey?
It's very hard trying to not think about the baby.
Yes, I know.
Because I know now in my heart that it's just never going to happen. We don't get to be whole, Leif. Not the way we always wanted.
Hey, we don't have to give up, Pumpkin.
It's time we stopped trying. It's time we turned the page, Leif. I'm going to get ice cream. I feel like eating lots of van chalk straw. Mostly straw, but let me have a taste of your van and your chalk, and I'll be a happy member of the... What was that name we gave ourselves?
Puzzle Platoon.
Permission to procure some VCS, Sergeant?
Permission granted, Private.
I still vote for Gondola Brigade.
Lights go down on the basement. A light comes up on Connie. She stands holding a plastic bag, which, by the shape of it, appears to contain a box-shaped object that is most certainly a carton of ice cream.
I've never worked a jigsaw puzzle before. You have to believe this, although it seems too strange, doesn't it? I missed the boat on that one. I've never seen Casablanca either, or visited the Grand Canyon, or Disney World. I don't like to fly, and when I was young, I would get deathly car sick. I mean, so car sick that I couldn't go 10 miles without revisiting everything I'd eaten that morning. Okay, TMI, right? Anyway, that makes me the last person to be giving anyone advice on the best way to put together a ridiculously large jigsaw puzzle. Although I have been at this one long enough to offer a couple of pointers. First, it helps if you don't concentrate too closely to the task at hand. The brain's a funny organ. It doesn't always need every synapse of attention to its job. Sometimes it works best when switched to automatic pilot. The second thing I've noticed about working puzzles is that it helps to have people working it with you. It helps a lot. You draw from one another. It's hard to describe. It's funny. I don't want this night to end.
Ah! The lights come up back in the basement. We see that there has been a little accident. Mattie's stool is overturned and the ping pong table has buckled slightly. There is a scattering of puzzle pieces on the floor, which have spilled through the table. Althea, Leif, and Mattie stand surveying the damage. Connie is at the door, bag in hand.
What happened?
I was too heavy. I was sleeping and I was too heavy, and the weight of my big head, it was too much for the table. And then the table,
It's really not that bad, dear.
We'll get everything back to where it was in a New York minute.
I think I should go home now.
No, it's okay, Mattie. We've got it all covered.
I'll just go and do something else bad. You don't need me helping you anymore.
Nonsense. You are, in spite of your big, heavy old head, still the best puzzle worker in this room.
Hey, 1492.
38.6264.
1666.
40.8165. You have to stop doing this. I have to go.
Well, you can't go. There are still 50 more square roots I need to learn.
You can use your calculator.
Oh, I'd rather use you. You're an invaluable resource, Mattie. You are very much needed here tonight.
The square root of 1666 isn't 40.8165. It's 40.8166. I got it wrong because I'm a little sleepy.
Huh.
I have to go to the bathroom.
I'll go with you, dear.
Yeah, we'll keep a close eye on that one, Althea. She's a definite flight risk.
Come on, stop it here.
You sure you don't want to, Can we at least talk about adoption?
Can talk about it.
But not now.
Not now. It's late. I'm very tired.
Pumpkin, you want me to take you home?
If I wanted to go home, I could drive myself home. Do you want to go home?
Well, no.
Then we stay and see this out. Oh, you flipped that one the wrong way.
Huh.
What does it mean?
What does what mean?
This puzzle. I mean, I know why we're doing it. We're doing it for Althea. Why is she doing it?
Because it's the only puzzle she hasn't managed to
No.
get to.
No, I want the real reason.
I don't know, Pumpkin. I mean, maybe it really is one of the last things that she'll feel like she'll have any control over.
A loss of agency, of a sense of self-empowerment, fighting to hold on to whatever she has.
Hey, whoa. I think we're overcomplicating this.
Well, I do that, don't I? I overthink things. Whereas Leif Morrell never overthinks things.
We should both stop it. It just makes us crazy.
Yes, I know. I'd like to just stop thinking, period. Leif, I want to be.
So be my wife, be my honey, be my sunny, eternal, everlasting soulmate. Just how about we learn how to stop and smell the roses, but without trying to pull off all the petals?
That's what we do.
Oh, goodness. We are standing around in a field of thorny stems, you and me.
Sometimes all I want in the world is just to be with you, just the two of us. But there are times, Leif, when I need other people in my life, and I look around and nobody's there.
You have your sister Beth and your Aunt Arlene.
And that's it, really. My circle is small, Leif, our circle. I don't know how it got to be that way. We're decent people. Where is everybody?
Maybe we closed ourselves off a little too much. I mean, all the funerals last year, God, it was like some kind of never-ending Greek tragedy.
I hear the phone ring in the middle of the night, Leif, and my whole body goes numb. I want life again. I'm tired of death. This baby was going to be life.
I know. What is it?
Althea. I like her.
I do too. And Mattie.
Yes. It's such a strange thing.
What?
To warm so easily to two people you just met after such a long period of warming to no one.
Kindred strangers?
I like that.
You taste like pizza.
And the ice cream cometh!
Oh!
Lights fade and come up elsewhere on Ina Gluck.
I worked the damn things the summer I was 10. The summer Althea and I spent out at Awaya camp. It rained most of the time. We were there, a veritable monsoon. And there was nothing to do but read Nancy Drew and piece together those ancient jigsaw puzzles that smelt of must and baked beans. I grew to hate the blasted things. So for me to stand here and share perky tips on how to conquer the jigsaw in record time, well, honey, you get absolutely no buy-in from me. What I will tell you about jigsaw puzzle is that it's the most inane, useless, mind-numbing pastime devised by man. It rivals solitaire and paint by number, filling the void of the empty life. My life, it just so happens, is sufficiently full, so I will leave the puzzles for those less blessed, like my sister Althea. She has dozens of them. She's worked every one of them, I believe, and some of them more than once. When her husband died, and after that terrible accident where she ran over my nephew with her car, she cocooned herself in that dark, dank basement and flicked and snapped the pieces together like some psychiatric patient. And I did my best not to worry. Fortunately, she is now beyond the puzzle stage in her life's journey. And I'm happy for her. She is going to come and live with me, which will be additionally beneficial to her. This is a good thing. But if I were to offer advice on putting together the dreaded jigsaw puzzle, I would say this to you. You must force all the damn pieces together, whether they are cut to fit or not. Take a hammer to the thing if necessary. Finish it off in less than an hour. The result will be no beautiful picture, for certain, but the dirty deed will be done. Finished Because the important thing isn't the picture, isn't the finished product. The important thing is just to be damned rid of it. Granted, this is an unorthodox approach, but certainly which frees me and you, if you heed my advice, to devote the time for more important endeavors, such as battening down the hatches for the arrival of one's older sister. I exiled all peace and sanity the day I agreed to let her come to my house. But do I rue the decision? Rue is such a harsh word.
Lights fade out on Ina, and come back up in the basement. Leif, Mattie, and Connie are working the puzzle. Althea fiddles with the radio station, bouncing among stations before settling on one that plays classical music. A nearly empty box of Neapolitan ice cream sits on the bar, surrounded by dirty bowls and spoons.
That's good. Right there.
I prefer the William Tell overture, Flight of the Bumblebee, but this is almost as good.
We shouldn't push ourselves too hard or we're liable to tire out. How are you holding up, Mattie?
I'm fine. We need a window, though. I'll bet the sun is coming up and we can't even see it.
Toiling away in our subterranean darkness. Looks great, though, Mattie. Mattie finished the Piazza. Hey, Mattie, there's a little pizza on your Piazza.
The Piazza jokes are getting a little stale, sweetie.
Oh.
I can't find that one piece. Right there.
That'll turn up.
I'm a little nauseous.
You ate too much ice cream.
Maybe it's morning sickness. I was making a sick joke. I can make that joke because I'm taking ownership of my pain.
Connie reads books. Connie, honey, you need to stop reading books. Hey, got an idea. Why don't you come massage the back of my neck?
Massage my neck, Althea.
You know, I bet this looks a little kinky.
Honey, could you... If Ina walked in right now, I cannot imagine what she would think.
Woo! Woo!
I'm going to throw up.
Uh-oh.
I'm about to throw up.
Put your head between your legs, dear. Better?
If your preference is for me to throw up on my shoes.
Oh.
Connie has a straw stomach.
Leif has a misplaced nipple.
Oh.
A what?
A misplaced nipple.
Did you have to go and share that?
I don't know what that means.
You lost your nipple?
Connie.
It's the one on the right. It's slightly up and to the left of where it ought to be, symmetrically speaking.
Is it a congenital defect, dear?
I guess. Supposedly my twin brother had one on the opposite side.
I'd like to see it.
Mattie.
Maybe some other time.
What will it hurt to show them? It takes some getting used to, but you won't regret the experience.
Connie, please.
You're always telling me how little it matters to you, that it's the way God made you.
Well, you can't have any more fun with it than the boys in school did. All right. God, I can't believe I'm doing this.
Oh, Lord, honey. It really isn't where it ought to be, is it?
Yeah, I'm damaged goods, right?
Oh, well, we all have little body quirks. The baby toe on my left foot has no nail.
Did it ever have a nail?
Not that I'm aware.
I have a deficiency of the womb.
Stop.
Pink.
What?
Well, a while ago you asked me my favorite color, and I said I'd never thought about it. And now I have thought about it, and I will say pink. But a deep, dark, dramatic shade of pink.
Like a Pepto-Bismol pink?
No. Althea means like a beautiful pink sunset.
Or sunrise. Mattie's right. We could be missing a gorgeous sunrise this morning.
The sun will rise on another day. Nobody leaves this table.
Golda Meir and Madeline Albright.
Oh, would you seat them next to each other?
Of course. And none of that musical chairs business. At my dinner party, everybody stays put.
Gilligan and Sue Ann Nivens and Miss Janine Pekorsky.
Who is Mrs. Janine Pekorsky, dear?
She's the lady who came to the group home and taught us how to color coordinate our wardrobes.
Oh.
Why would she be a good guest for your dinner party?
I liked the way she smiled. She had a nice smile. She can sit at the head of my table and smile and make everyone feel welcome.
Do you see her anymore, dear?
No, she died. You said I could invite dead people.
You can have whoever you want, sweetie.
And I also want Cinderella and Snow White. Connie gets Goldilocks.
Not Goldilocks, Golda Meir.
Blue. Forget khaki. I was kidding with khaki.
Khaki isn't even a color. You were trying to be clever.
It certainly is a color.
It's a color-like entity.
It's a state of mind.
Adam's Rib, Philadelphia Story.
I think you named Philadelphia Story already.
Was Katharine Hepburn in Westward the Woman? I like that one. There was this wagon train and it was almost all women. I'll bet one of them was Katharine Hepburn.
Yeah, the mad woman of something.
Of Main Street. The Mad Woman of Main Street.
Who else was in that picture, Mattie?
Sophia Loren and Valerie Bertinelli.
And what was it about?
A woman who pulls her hair out and then goes looking for the beauty parlor.
Oh, why does she pull her hair out?
Because she's mad. Hey, look, I finished this whole section.
Oh, that's good. Pull it over here. I bet it'll connect.
You don't know why she pulls all of her hair out?
I do.
You're just going to keep it to yourself? Maybe we'd like to see the movie.
I don't even think it's a real movie. I think it's a dream movie.
Do you dream movies too? I thought I was the only one.
I dream movies that most people wouldn't want to see. Sometimes I don't even want to see them.
And this was one of those movies? Am I in this movie, dear? Now, see, how did I know that?
Katharine Hepburn plays you in all of my head movies.
Well, I appreciate the casting choice, dear. It shows you have good taste.
Oh, except for, that invitation for Gilligan to come to dinner.
So why is this me person in your dream movie? Why is she so driven to pull her hair out? Can you tell me?
Because nobody likes it. Her hair. They talk about it behind her back, and sometimes they point at her.
At me?
Yes, and so she pulls it out, and then she goes to the beauty parlor, and I put on my smock, and I make it all beautiful again.
You give her a wig?
Surely there must be little tufts left to top.
Little tufts, yes. And I take the tufts, and I weave them with the beautiful wig hair, the soft, natural hair that I have selected just for you, and it all blends so wonderfully, and you're quite pleased.
I'm pleased. But, Mattie, that sounds like a happy ending.
You walk out of the beauty parlor, and you get run over by a bus.
Oh.
Oh.
I'm sorry. I was just telling you how it ended.
That's an awful way to end your movie.
I probably shouldn't have said.
What kind of a?
It was a school bus.
Okay, I think somebody ought to change the subject. Like fast?
But please, no more square root challenges, okay?
Okay.
I believe I'll go upstairs and lie down for a bit.
Are you sure you're okay?
Oh, I'm getting a no-sleep headache, that's all. It will pass.
Do you want me to
Oh,
maybe?
dear, you just keep working the puzzle. You're very good, and we've made excellent progress.
You didn't understand.
I should never open my mouth.
Oh.
Except to eat. I can breathe out of my nose.
Should I go up there?
Why don't you wait? Maybe she needs a little time to herself. We've been pretty much on top of each other all night.
Althea thinks that nobody needs her. I need her. I need her every day. When you go up and see her, will you tell her that? She thinks I can do all these things by myself. I can't. I messed it all up.
She's been very helpful to you, hasn't she?
I don't know what I'll do without her. I just don't know what I'll do.
They returned to working the puzzle in silence. The lights gradually began to change, showing the passage of time. 1, 2, 3 hours. During this, we hear the radio playing. A song comes on, something lively and catchy, and as the lights settle back, we see Connie, Leif, and Mattie mindlessly swaying and tapping their feet. A moment later, we hear, under the music, the removed sound of Althea's front doorbell. Mattie goes and turns off the music.
Did you hear that?
Doorbell.
Hear what?
Someone is here.
Somebody else for Althea to say goodbye to.
She came early.
Who came early?
Her.
Sister. I know.
Althea thought she might come early. She does things early. She always gets the worm.
But Althea hasn't had lunch. The sister is supposed to let Althea have her lunch first.
Well, it's 11. Maybe that important lunch of Ina's turned into a breakfast. Somebody go upstairs and find out. The suspense is going to kill me.
We'll find out soon enough. Pick up the pace, Connie. You spent forever on the sky. Let Mattie have the sky. You take the water.
I was doing the water most of the night. I like the pale blue of the sky.
Mattie, take the sky.
Who died and left you in charge?
Look, if we don't get organized here, the ship is sunk.
Aye, aye, Captain Nipple.
Oh.
It was probably just the man who cleans her eaves. She's telling him goodbye.
Maybe. I hear voices.
I hear Althea's.
And a man, right?
Can I help you with the sky? There are supposed to be pigeons there, but I haven't found them yet.
Yes, by all means, let's put the pigeons in the sky. Look at me. My hand is shaking. It's like I'm 12 years old again, and Aunt Edith is upstairs with her gravelly voice and the goiter.
Your Aunt Edith's dead, Pumpkin. She can never hurt you again.
She never hurt me. She just creeped me out. God, I need sleep.
Look, you've got a pigeon in your hand. Its wings are fluttering.
Good morning.
Friends, I give you the puzzle platoon, all present and accounted for, though not quite as bright-eyed and bushy-tailed as we'd like. Oh, she didn't believe me.
All night?
Since
early yesterday evening.
And it's really coming along. Oh, look, you're moving back to the water. That's fine. It's your forte, dear.
Are you going to introduce me to these people?
I'm sorry, people. This is my sister, Ina. Ina, this is Mattie. Oh, but you've met her before.
I don't recall.
I was out in the yard and we talked about roses, and I wasn't looking where I was pointing the hose, and it got your feet all wet. They were brand new shoes, you said.
Oh yes, I remember. You live next door
With Mr. Puss.
with the cat. Yes. And your other friends?
Oh, Connie and Leif Morrell.
I don't believe Althea's ever mentioned the two of you before.
Well, we just met your sister last night. We decided to help her work on the mother of all jigsaw puzzles. And then on the way out, we're going to rob her blind.
Oh,
My husband is kidding.
Leif and Connie are thinking about buying the house.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, it's a beautiful home. We haven't gone over it with a proverbial fine-tooth comb, but we like what we've seen so far. We do understand, however, that the hot water heater may need to be replaced. Are you about to take Althea away, or perhaps you could come back around 3 or maybe 4 o'clock to do the dirty deed?
Dirty deed?
Yes, her official incarceration.
Oh.
Leif, let's go upstairs. I want to talk to you about the house.
We aren't going to talk about the house. We're going to talk about the fact that I have this sudden and overwhelming need to keep Althea from moving in with her sister.
Leif! Okay,
I do.
No, you're tired. I understand.
Oh,
No,
Mattie, please.
You just met this man last night.
Yes.
I don't understand.
Well, Leif and I decided that we would work this puzzle together, and later we got reinforcements.
I understand that. But what I don't understand.
My husband is tired. We're all tired. We haven't slept. Leif isn't usually so rude.
Oh, Connie's right. I'm usually fairly well behaved, a regular Boy Scout. I help senior citizens cross the street. I also help them finish their damn jigsaw puzzles before they get dragged away to the land of no jigsaw puzzles.
First of all, young man, I am not dragging Althea anywhere. She and I have come to what I thought was an amicable agreement. Her moving in with me. If it's any of your business, forgive my rudeness, but I didn't. Wait, Althea, I just didn't expect to find such a circus here. I thought you wanted to come live with me. Have you changed your mind?
No. It's what well, I know it's for the best.
No doubt she's told you very little about her health, her medical problems. Althea cannot keep living alone. Neither of us wishes for her to go into an extended care. At least not yet. It's only right that I have room for her.
Putting her in the sewing room.
There is nothing wrong with my sewing room. Why do I have to defend myself to these people? Althea, you cannot finish the puzzle. The moving truck is coming in 3 hours. You have too much to do between now and then. We both do. That's why I begged out of my lunch date and came here early. I thought you could use the help.
Oh, I appreciate your coming early. Yes, and yes, I guess there are a few little things that.
Althea, are we going to stop working the puzzle?
Yes, you are all going to stop working the puzzle.
We worked on it all night.
It's a very large puzzle. How did you ever think you could finish it?
Well, we think outside of the box, lady. We take the puzzle out of the box and we stay out of the box.
Leif, honey, shut up.
I always make every effort to complete what I start.
Leif, please.
Do you want the house?
The house?
Yes. Do you like the house? Should we buy the house?
Yes. I do, Leif. I do like it.
Good. We're buying the house.
What?
You don't want to think it through, dear? I mean, none of us is thinking very clearly right now.
I love the house. Connie loves the house, especially the bay window and this basement rec room. I don't mind the lack of sun. You make your own sun in a room like this. We're buying the house and the ping pong table and the puzzle that sits on top of it. And I, for one, plan to keep working on the puzzle that sits on top of it for as long as it takes me to finish it.
Is Leif, is he serious?
Well, he has had all night to think about it. I have too.
We're gonna be neighbors.
We are, aren't we? Leif?
Yes?
Leif?
What is it, Pumpkin? Say
Do you know what I'm going to say?
I think I know what you're going to say.
And what I'm going to say, it's something you...
Yes, it is something I...
Althea, we want you to stay.
Stay?
Yes. We'd like you to replace the hot water heater, but keep the old lady.
What on earth are you children talking about?
I don't want the upstairs room from my office, Althea. I want this room. We want you to take the upstairs room.
I still don't.
We can't make it any plainer, Althea. My husband and I want you to live with us.
But you don't, honey. You can't possibly. It's the lack of sleep. It's the intensity of these last few hours. Leif, Connie, dear, I simply could not be a burden to you. Please, let me be a burden to Ina. We're blood.
I have one sister, Althea, one aunt. Leif has no close relatives at all. There's a gap in our lives. We're Swiss cheese, too.
This is insanity. You don't even know these people.
Yes. She knows that Leif's favorite color is blue, which isn't khaki, and that Connie's is lemon yellow. She knows that Connie's favorite Katharine Hepburn movie is Bringing Up Baby. Leif's is Pat and Mike. She knows that Leif has a twin brother in heaven who he thinks about every day, and that Connie once met Annette Benning in the ladies' room in the Marriott Hotel. They talked about liquid soap. She knows that Leif has a misplaced nipple, and that Connie would make a wonderful mother, and that Leif likes chocolate, and Connie likes strawberry, and most important of all, they both like Althea. There's only one thing she doesn't know, and I'm going to tell you. If you were to add Leif's age and Connie's age together, the square root of that number would be 8, which is a very good square root to have. These are the things you learn when you spend a long night in Venice. And look, the pigeons have taken wing. See?
Oh, yes. Yes, I see.
Oh, I do. I see them too.
It isn't all of them, is it?
There are others. Here and here.
Oh, let's put them in the sky. And here we've got to put the pigeons in the sky.
You aren't coming to live with me?
Oh, well, how can I? I'm needed here.
Just like that. The decision is made?
The decision is made.
Well, I fixed up the sewing machine room for you. I bought pretty new lace curtains.
Oh, that was very considerate of you, Ina, And your offer to set aside part of your garden for my sweet peas and tomatoes. That was very thoughtful also. But my life has taken a sudden, most interesting turn, all of our lives, and we must make the necessary adjustments. And isn't it better this way? Ina?
There's a pigeon
Where?
right next to Connie's hand.
Yes, I've got it.
Herbert and I,
Yes, yes.
we went to Venice.
Oh, yes, I remember.
We had such a lovely time.
I remember how much you loved that trip.
One of us should call the movers.
Well, in a minute, work that row of rickety houses there.
Where?
Right there
along the smaller canal.
Yes, I see. Okay.
Know the way to Santa Fe.
San Jose, dear.
Bow, 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 bow.
What was she wearing?
Ooh,
Well, Annette Benning.
a very dramatic black evening gown. It had a sweetheart neck and feathering at the bottom.
Oh. This one is like sticky. Ugh.
The left-out Buckminster Fuller and Sir Isaac Newton. A dinner of intellectuals will bar Gilligan at the door.
Oh, but you didn't tell us the menu.
Well, hold your horses. I'll get to the menu.
The lights fade out on our puzzle platoon.
Hello, everyone. My name is Rita Wadsworth, and I played Althea.
I'm Steve Allhoff, and I played Leif Morrell.
I'm Sasha Voight, and I played Mattie.
I'm Sarah Marsh, and I played Connie.
I'm Marj Young. I'm Marj Young, and I'm Ina.
All right, here we all are, aren't we? All right, let me make sure everybody's here. Hi, everybody. Hi, everybody. I'm Elena Boys. I'm the director of this crazy show, and I am so glad you were able to watch us today. We were so happy to have you along on our team, and we hope that you are able to watch future Ghostlight Theater shows with Mountain Community Theater. Thanks so much for watching.
Woo!